Good morning,
Could
Rahul.
you, good morning. Could you please open the document, whatever on activity guide with the list of the topics?
Yeah, I'm
Go,
sharing my screen.
okay, go through each and every topic and walk me through.
Oh,
Over to you, Janardhan.
thank you for this. So now I'm explaining about the what is the how to manage what is the managing security and how to assign the access to dimension members. I will explain first of all. So coming to the activity guide. In this activity guide, the scenario is given access to the dimension members. So earlier we have created the account dimension member. So now we are giving the access to the that account member. So go to the application and then go to the navigator. After that, create and manage. After the create and manage, click on the dimension. So in that dimension, I have selected the account dimension. So in here, we have to give the access to the total account underscore, which is the given in the document. So here is the he given the click the assign access icon from the action drop down and assign access. So you have to click the actions. So in the actions you have the option assign access. So click on this assign action access. Then you have to create the groups tab. So then in the group tabs you have to click on the add access icon, which is the plus icon. So click on the groups and click on the plus icon. Then we can here select the which we want the we can create the group. So earlier I have created the my group, that's why I'm selecting that and click on add, which is suggested in the document. So click on the next page. So I have added the group. So if you like want to change the service administrator, you can change it service administrator. Then click on the service administrator and add it. So likewise we can access given the access to the account dimension member. So click on close. Coming to the activity guide. In the activity guide, the next step is entity dimension. So we have to give the access to the entity dimension EN05. So then I'm going to the entity dimension. Please expand the total geography and expand the total segments and the segment EN05. So which is suggested in the activity guide. So I am selecting the EN05. So then after you have to give the right permission to EN05 and EN06 to group service administrator. So then I am going to select the EN05, click on the actions. So here you can assign the access or you can select here also. So both the same options, different locations. So I am selecting the EN05 and under the actions you can select the groups or users. Here is the head, they mention the groups. So here I am selecting the service administrator. So that's this way we can assign the access to the members. So in my application, they don't have the child member like EN06. So I am creating now underscore 06. That name, alias name also given same. So then click on save. The member will be created on the entity dimension. It will take some time. So likewise, we can assign the again EN06 underscore. So select the access, assigning access for groups, and click on add button, and then select the service administrator. Then click on add. So likewise, we can create the assign to access. So then go to the activity guide. We have completed the lesson 6, and then go to the practice lesson 7. So in this lesson, we are defining the valid intersection. So we have, if you want to create the valid intersection, then first go to the home page and click on the application. Under the application, select the valid intersection. So I'm going to the navigator and select the valid intersection. So which is created in the under the application. So here we can create the valid intersection. So likewise, creating the with the name of activity guide, name of the sample underscore valid intersection. So I am creating the on valid intersection and creating sample underscore valid intersection. So give the name and save as. So then go to the activity guide, click on next page. So here they have selected a anchor dimension and is the account dimension, and another dimension is entity. So I'm selecting the likewise. First I'm selecting the account dimension and add another dimension is entity. So likewise you can create. So then click on the add rule. The add rule I have clicked and then select the rule. So in this activity guide, they have selected the operating income, and in the entity selected the EN01. So likewise, I am selecting first. I am selecting the account dimension and selecting the operating income. So click on the account and edit. So you can search here which account we want. They have selected the operating income. So likewise, I am selecting the operating income. Then go to the document. So in here they have selected the EN01. EN01 account dimension. I have selected the operating income and then select the entity dimension and select the EN01 I descendants. Descendants. So likewise, I am selecting the EN01 total geography under the total geography and select on the segments and select the EN01. Click on descendants. So likewise, we are creating the valid intersection tool. So the valid intersection tool is created. So go to the activity guide. Up to now it was completed the practice session 7, and then I'm going to the practice lesson 8. So data management. To run the setup the data load, you have to go to the first overview and then select the data management, then create the data input. So I will show how to do the data import in the data management. First you have to go to the navigator and under the integration you have the data management option. So expand. So click on the setup. So then under the register you have to create the source system. So now I am going to the activity guide. So in here they have created the shown from the import to new import format. So now I'm showing from the starting point of this how to set up the import format and source system and target application. So likewise we can create the everything. So I'm creating the code source. So then click on the source file type. Here we can select the SCM cloud or ERP cloud, NetSuite and file. If you have the credentials for these three options, so you don't have the that much credentials. So I'm selecting the file and click on save. The source system is created, and under the source system we have to create the target application. So now I'm selecting the file which is have created earlier as per the activity guide. So I'm mapping under the activity guide. So click on the target application. Then you have to create the. You can choose the target application where you want to store all the data. So now I'm selecting the Nokia, which is the my application name. So then go to the activity guide. So in here, have to select the import format. So click on the new. Likewise, the I'm creating. So then go to the import format. Click on add button, and they have given the name like if FCCS. So I am giving the name also. For FCCS. So source system is I have created earlier, which is a gold source. So file type is I am selecting the delimited numeric, and application is target application is Nokia. Likewise, we can create the import format. So click on save. Then we have to select the mapping, which is shown our activity guide. So the account dimension is 1 and the amount is 7. So likewise, we can give the mapping. So first I am giving the account dimension, then entity, save it. So you have to refresh that. So it has saved. Likewise, we can give the all the mapping. So now I am giving the entity, so entity is 2 and movement is 3, product is 4. Movement is 3, product is 4. Intercompany, periodic and multi-gap intercompany. Multi-gap. Right. So intercompany, then intercompany is 6. Then if the error came, then we have to refresh the number. Then it will save the selecting the intercompany and giving the number is 6, and then give the amount. Amount is 7. Likewise, we can give the mapping. So in our activity guide, so account is 1 and amount is 7, entity 2 and SCP 5, movement is 3, and gap is 6 and product is 4. So likewise, I have given the all the mapping and click on next slide. So part 2, the part 2 with the overviews, and after that giving the import format, and you have to create the location. So the location name is given the LOC FCCS. So I am giving also like that. And click on the location. FCCS. Import format is. So click on add button. Name is LOC underscore FCCS. And import format is IFF FCCS. So likewise, I am selecting all the requirements in the activity guide. So then click on save. So after giving the location, I am going to again on the activity guide. So likewise, I am created the location. Then go to the data load mapping as suggested in the activity guide. So in the location mapping, after that, have to select the location file. So then I am going to select the data load mapping. So in here you have to select the location map is selected or not by default. So it is by default it came the location FCCS. So then we have to go to the give the mappings. So in the activity guide, they have given the mappings. So they have given the mappings like select the period and click on OK. Then how to give the mappings like mapping. Click on the like mapping. So I'm also giving the like mapping, and I have selected the like mapping. Then click on add button, and I'm giving the mappings. Account map and click on save. Before that, I am selecting the period. Then click on OK, and then give the mappings like account mapping. Then go to the entity. Likewise, I'm giving all the mappings. Entity map, save, enter company. ICP. Then movement is by default it came, and multi-gap also will come. So product, click on add button and click star and star. Product. Then go to the import format and deselecting. And I'm selecting save and click on save target application. So some of the unmapped entities came in the while mapping the data. So likewise, I am creating the click on save. It was taking some time. Meanwhile, I am going to the workflow. So after the giving that mapping, so have to the load the data load route. My application is a bit slow this time. So I'm refreshing. Now I'm clicking selecting again. So it was refreshing. So after the creating the import format and location, so have to go to the load data load mapping. So have given the all the mapping. Likewise, then have to go to data load route. In the activity guide, they have shown what the requirements is given. So I am giving the provided the following details. Name is DL FCCS. So I am giving that name. Then click on add DL FCCS. So then select the import format and I'm selecting the FCCS and select the file type. So I have given the name is data consolidation. Before that, I am closing that. Then click on the upload. So here is the my application data consolidate. Then click on OK. Before that, I am selecting the period. So likewise, So which you want to, you can select the period. So I am selecting the 17 December. So likewise, you can create the road mapping. So I'm giving DL FCCS and import format is if FCCS. Then I am again selecting the file, data consolidate, and click on OK. Then click OK. Then save. So these changes have been made successfully, and then click on the execute and select the import format. So then click on refresh. While getting the we have status. So the import format is successfully imported, and then I have to select the export target. So I am selecting the export target. Before that, I am confirming whether my period is opened or not. I have selected the December 17. So go to the manage and periods. Select the FY 17. If period is not open, then it will get the error. So I have given the map open period also. Then click on refresh. So likewise, we can create the mapping. So this is the process for the importing and mapping the data. So then go to the application and then click on the next page. So I have done all the process. So after that, we have to launch the rules. So then I am going to the rules card. Go to the home page and then click on the rules card and consolidate the rules. So the rule launch page is the display will display. After that, we have to select the EN0 and January actual year FY20 and then click on the launch. So then I am going to the application, then click on the home page, click on the rules card, and the rules card have to select the consolidate. So in the consolidation, we have to select the EN01. EN01 and January actual FY20. Scenario is actual. Period is FY20. Jan. So click on launch. Likewise, we can launch the consolidation under the business rules. So then go to the Next page, in the next page, the FCCS income statement by period is open of the form. So the following details is required to point of view. So then I will show the form and under the navigation, have to select the create and manage under the forms. So then expand the library and click on the FCCS income statement. So in the activity guide, they have given the by period. So then click on the by period and click on the layout. Then go to the preview. So likewise, you can able to see the all the data and as per the activity guide. So then click on the next page. Up to now, it was created the lesson 8. Then go to the lesson 9. In lesson 9, you have the managing data. So in the managing data, you have to import the data from a file. So I'm going to import the data from file. So in here, we don't have the data in our application. So that's why we are not able to show the data in form. So click on the navigator under the overview, like in the activity guide. So then click on the import under the action. So click on the import data. Then have to create the import the data.csv file. So it has the imported the successfully .csv. So in here we can import the data. So if you have the any file, then you can select the here and you can import the data. So here we don't have the file that regarding the file, then I am selecting the June data file and click on OK and then click on validate and then import. So likewise we can create the copy and import the data. So after that the practice 9.2 copying and clearing data. So in this here they have given the scenarios like this: source is actual and FY20 and January EN01 and FCC data input. So I'm creating that. So to copy the data, you have to click on the actions under the overview and click the copy. So first we need to create the copy. So I'm selecting the required following details and under the source actual FY20, then click on create. Scenario is actual. Year is FY20. Then period is Jan. Then entity was EN01 underscore 5 and data input, data sources. Expand the segment and select the EN01. Then click on OK. The data sources, data input. Click on the total data source and expand the total input and adjusted. Then click on the data input. So likewise, we have given the all the requirements as per the activity guide, and click on the okay, and then click on the run. So I'm going to click on run different destinations. So here you have to play, select the different target location also. So as per the activity guide, you have to select the target location. Actually, FY20 and January EN06. So in here, you have select the different entity. So I am selecting the EN06, then click on OK. And here also have to select the EN05. Likewise, we can give the all the requirement details. So then click on run. Actually, it's actually FY20 and EN0 is so have to remove the, all the entities. Select the EN01 and select the EN0 underscore 05. So then after we have to select the EN06. So we have to check the entities are different or not. The job was submitted and the console job is more. So likewise, we can create and copy the data of one entity to another entity. If you want to change the scenario to scenario, you can change or FY20 to any year if you want, and period also you can change. So likewise, you can create the format. So I'm saving. So it was successfully saved. Then click on cancel. Then again, you want to create the clear data. Then go back and click on actions. Then clear data. So then click on the clear and select the scenario. So I'm selecting actual. So I'm taking the reference from the activity guide to clear the data. Actually, is scenario is actual. Year is FY20. Period is January, and entity N01 and FCCS data input. So then click OK. Now I'm selecting the period. Period is Jan. Then entity. Entity I'm selecting EN06 underscore 06. So data sources, data input. So have to explain the data, total data source and expand the total input and registered. Then select the data input. So likewise, I have selected the all the requirements as per the admin guide. So then after I am selecting the run. So likewise, you can create the clear the data. So if you want to save this one, you can save. So as per the activity guide, I have shown in the clear and copy options. Then have the lesson 10, and in the lesson 10 we have the managing forms. So in the managing forms, they have given the create sample form. So I will create the sample form as per the requirements. I will give. So then click to cancel and go to the home. Click on the navigator and to the create and manage to have the form option, form card. So then you have to create the new form. So if you want to open here, you can create, or if you want to create any another folder, you can also create here. So now I am creating the here. So I am giving the name as per the activity guide. So the name is create simple form. So then I have to create the new form, and then the name is data entry. So likewise, you can give the name data entry. So description, the form is used for data entry. So then click on the next, and the layout is in the layout. We have give the point of view intercompany currency multi-gap product. So I'm going to layout. In the point of view, I have to give the view intercompany currency multi-gap product. So these 5 dimensions we have to require in the point of view. In the page, years, period, scenario, consolidation, data. Here I have dragged down the page, and here period. So years, period, scenario, consolidation, and data source. So under the rows and columns, movement and account in the rows, and columns in the entity. And drag down the account and movement into rows. So likewise, we can give the all the required scenarios in the form. So then after we have to do the right click on the row one and add a row. So I will show how to add the row. So click on add row. Likewise, we can create the add the row. So then click on the next page, and want to repeat the one more. So likewise, I have created, and then go to the activity guide, and the point of view dimension by clicking the icon shown the screenshot. So have to choose the view is the periodic, and currency is entity currency, and I am selecting the view is as the periodic. Then click on OK. Currency is the entity currency, and intercompany is no intercompany, product no product, and multi gap is the local gap. And I am selecting the intercompany, no intercompany. Multi gap is the local gap. So product is no product, So then go to the next POV. We have the page option, and under the page option we have to include the blue and click on the blue and arrow for the year dimension edit. So then we have to give the year is as the children. And click on the years and add on children. Click on the functional children. Click on the children. So then go to the activity guide, and scenario is actual, and consolidation is contribution ID sentence. Contribution total underscore FCCS ID sentence. Then go to the period, and period is the year total ID sentence. Data source is the total data source ID sentence. So data source is the total data source. Total data source and ID sentence. So then go to the period year total ID sentence. Year total is the ID sentence. And click OK. So then click on the next page, and after that we have to give the rows and columns. In the row 1 movement dimension is changes due to the issue of the stock. So then select the movement dimension. The movement dimension we have to choose the search for the changes due to issue of stock. So likewise you can select the so I am selecting the changes due to issue of the stock. So here given the, so I have created the, and click on the enter. So then go to the next slide. In here, and select the member in the right to the arrow and click on OK. So then after row 1 is the changes due to the issue of the stock. Account is the common stock. So then you can search here. So then I am selecting the common stock. In the second row, changes in other current assets. Changes in other current assets. In the second row. So changes in other current assets. So I'm selecting here and add it here and then click on OK. And the account dimension is 4000. So in our application, we don't have the that account member. So parallelly, I am changing any other current assets. So then you have to go to the balance sheet, expand the balance sheet, and expand the traditional total assets and current assets. You can choose the cash and cash equivalents. Then click on OK. Then in the third row, changes in the net income. Changes in net income I have added here and then click on OK. Then I am selecting the account member. You can expand the balance sheet and click on the assets and click on the current assets. Then I'm selecting the other receivables. Then click on OK. So likewise, you can select the account member. So then after how to select the entity as the children. Expand the entities. Then select the children. So likewise, we have selected all the members. So then click on save and then select the business rule tab. Select the console rule and consolidate and add. So like I am saving this form for then click on the business rules. Then click on the consolidate as shown in the activity guide and add here and save and finish. And then click on save, then finish. So likewise, you can create the simple form. So then after going to the next slide. So now I'm going to the layout tab and then delete the row and 3 and movement dimension to column 2 from rows. So likewise, we are creating the data entry and edit it and row 1, row 2. So here they have said So likewise, I am saving this document as the consolidated data form. So then save as, click on, and give the name as consolidated data form. And click on finish. So the consolidated data form is created, and then go to the layout, and which we have deleted, can delete here. So then I am selecting the row 1, row 3, then delete the row 2 and row 3, then select the movement animation to columns. So now the change the members of the following dimension. Step 1 will be similar to the next two. So likewise, we are changing the account and movement dimension. So the IDs and dates of the FCCS total balance sheet. So the account dimension, I am selecting the to edit it, and then select the balance sheet and traditional balance, and select the IDs index as given in the activity guide, traditional approach and IDs index. So likewise, I am selecting and reviewing the common start and click on OK. Then it is enabled to the columns. Then click on the movement dimension, edit, and give the name as closing balance. So I am giving closing balance and then click on OK. Then go to the activity guide, and the following PVV dimension members is the FQ is FCCS YTD, and intercompany is top, and parent company is parent currency. First I am selecting the view dimension. FCCS YTD. So and click on OK. Then intercompany is intercompany top. Click on OK. Then go to the activity guide, and currency is parent currency. So go to the activity guide. Likewise, I have given all the requirements in the, and after that how to enable the suppress missing data and suppressing missing blocks. Suppress missing blocks and suppress missing blocks. So then after I have to save and finish. So likewise, you can create the data entry form and consolidation form as shown in the activity guide. Then click on next slide. In the next slide, we have the assigning the access to form. In this lesson, we can see the how to assign the access to the data form. So then I am selecting the, which is I have created the data entry form. So then how to click on the assign. So now I am selecting the data entry and click on the assign option. Then after you have to create the you give the access. So after that I have to select the group. Under the groups I am after that clicking the groups icon, and then we have to create the add icon. So likewise I am giving the selecting the groups and selected the add button and click on the service administrator. So likewise we can give the access to the read access or write access or none. So I'm giving the access to the service administrator, and access is the right access. So I'm giving the right to service administrator, and I click on add. So it was added successfully, and I'm clicking close and close. So likewise we can assign the access to the form. So in this practical I have shown all the requirements as per the activity guide. That's it from my side, Ravali.
Okay, thank you, Janardhan.
Yeah.